What if everything you've been taught about life was a lie? What if the system wasn't built to help you, but to control you? Welcome to GrimFace Motivation, the channel for those who dare to question, to rise, to break free from the chains of mediocrity. This isn't your average feel-good inspiration. This is a rebellion, a wake-up call for the black sheep who refuse to follow the herd. Here, we don't sugarcoat the truth. We confront it head-on, no matter how dark it gets. Because the only way to escape the system is to face the lies that built it. So, if you're ready to shatter illusions, embrace discomfort, and claim the life that's truly yours, you've come to the right place. This is more than motivation. It's a movement. A movement for the fearless, the relentless, the unapologetic. GrimFace. Motivation isn't for everyone, but if you're here, it's for you. Let's get to work. Your freedom starts now. Lesson 1. The illusion of freedom. Do you think you're free? Look around you. The walls of your prison are invisible, but they're there, built brick by brick, not with chains or bars, but with beliefs and routines. You wake up, you work, you consume, you sleep, and you repeat. Day after day, month after month, year after year. You call this freedom. But is it? Or is it just a sophisticated cage? You were born into a world that handed you a script, a story about how life should be. Go to school, get a job, buy a house, retire when you're too tired to enjoy the life you sacrificed for. They told you this is success. But have you ever stopped to ask, whose success? Because it's not yours. You think you're choosing, but every choice has already been framed for you. The brands you wear, the shows you watch, the very opinions you hold, they were fed to you, tailored to keep you compliant, distracted, and docile. The system doesn't need you to think. It needs you to obey. The most dangerous prisons are the ones where the prisoner doesn't even know they're locked up. You work jobs you hate to buy things you don't need, to impress people who don't care. And the whole time, you believe you're free. That's the lie. The beautiful, poisonous lie. So let me ask you, when was the last time you truly made a decision for yourself? Not for your family, not for your boss, not for society, for you. Can you even remember? Freedom isn't handed to you. It isn't found in the paycheck, the mortgage, or the fleeting moments of pleasure you cling to. Freedom is taken. It's ripped from the hands of those who profit off your ignorance. It's built in the moments when you dare to question everything you've been taught and burn the script you've been forced to follow. But here's the brutal truth. Questioning the system is terrifying. It's lonely. It's painful. Because the moment you start seeing the walls, you can't unsee them. The illusion shatters, and suddenly, you're standing in the rubble of a life you thought was yours. But that rubble, that's where freedom begins. Freedom starts when you stop lying to yourself. When you admit that the life you've been living isn't the life you want. When you strip away every excuse, every rationalization, and face the raw, unfiltered truth. You're not free yet. But you can be. The chains that bind you are mental. The system may have built the walls, but you've kept them standing. It's time to tear them down. Stop accepting what is handed to you. Start questioning the rules, the beliefs, the norms. The path to freedom isn't comfortable, but it's the only path worth walking. So ask yourself, right now, am I free? If the answer is no, then what the hell are you going to do about it? Because if you don't act, the illusion will consume you, and you'll die in that cage, never knowing what it truly means to live. This is your wake-up call. Break the illusion, or let it break you. The choice is yours. Lesson 2. The comfort trap. Comfort, It's the drug of the masses, the silent killer of ambition. They package it, market it, and sell it to you as the ultimate goal. A nice home, a steady job, a life of ease. It sounds good, doesn't it? But what they don't tell you is that comfort is a trap, a seductive poison that lulls you into complacency while the world moves on without you. Think about it. How many dreams have died in the name of comfort? How many people stay in jobs they hate because they're comfortable? How many relationships, how many routines, how many lives stagnate because the fear of discomfort outweighs the desire for growth? Comfort is a prison disguised as paradise. It feels good in the moment. Warm, safe, predictable. But what does it cost you? It costs you your potential, your freedom, your future. Because while you're wrapped in the soft cocoon of comfort, life is passing you by. The opportunities you didn't take, the risks you were too afraid to embrace, the person you could have been. The truth is, growth and comfort cannot coexist. Every great achievement, every act of transformation, every story of success begins where comfort ends. Growth is born in discomfort. It's forged in struggle. It's baptized in pain. But that's the price of becoming something more. The system knows this. That's why it works so hard to keep you comfortable. They give you just enough to keep you satisfied, but never enough to make you free. Cheap entertainment, fast food, mind-numbing routines, it's all designed to keep you sedated, to keep you from asking the hard questions, taking the hard actions, living the hard truths. So, I ask you, when was the last time you chose discomfort? When was the last time you stepped out of the warm embrace of safety and into the cold, harsh light of the unknown? If you can't remember, then you've already fallen into the trap. But here's the thing. The trap isn't unbreakable. It's a choice. You can choose to trade comfort for growth, safety for strength, predictability for purpose. But it won't be easy. It will hurt. It will stretch you. It will break the person you are now to make way for the person you're meant to be. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. The longer you stay in it, the weaker you become. So if you want to rise, to achieve, to escape the system that controls you, you must make discomfort your ally. Seek out challenges. Embrace the struggle. Do the things that scare you. Because on the other side of discomfort lies power, freedom, life. Ask yourself right now, am I too comfortable? If the answer is yes, then it's time to make a change. Burn the bed of ease you've been lying in and step into the fire of transformation. Because comfort will kill you slowly, but discomfort will set you free. The choice is yours. Stay in the trap or fight your way out. What will it be? Lesson 3. Debt and financial slavery. Debt. It's the modern chain that binds you. A leash so subtle you don't even feel it tightening around your neck. You're told it's normal, necessary even. A part of life, they say. Mortgages, car payments, credit cards. It's how the system works. But the truth they don't tell you? Debt is slavery, and the system is designed to keep you in it. Think about it. Every dollar you owe is a piece of your freedom sold off to someone else. Every monthly payment, every mounting interest charge, is a reminder that your life is no longer fully yours. Debt controls where you work, how long you work, and even how you dream. It keeps you chained to the grind, forever chasing the illusion of security, while the weight of what you owe drags you down. The system doesn't want you to see this. They want you to think debt is your key to success. Buy now, pay later. They scream, and we listen. We trade tomorrow's freedom for today's convenience, tomorrow's possibilities for today's fleeting comforts. The new car, the bigger house, the endless stream of gadgets and luxuries. But at what cost? They've trapped you in a cycle, and it's no accident. Debt is the system's way of keeping you compliant. You don't rebel when you owe. You don't take risks when you're in debt. You don't live for yourself when you're too busy working to pay off the interest on the things you thought would make you happy. Debt isn't just financial, it's psychological. It's a constant reminder that the system owns you. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. You can break free. Debt is not an inevitable part of life. It's a choice. And every choice you make going forward can either tighten the chains or shatter them. It starts with a mindset shift. Stop chasing the illusion of status and start valuing freedom over fleeting pleasures. Do you really need the newest gadget? The bigger house? The designer clothes? Or are you trading your future for things that won't matter in the long run? Freedom isn't in the things you own. It's in the life you live. It's in having the power to say no. No to the job that steals your soul. No to the hours of work that leave you empty. No to the system that feeds off your labor and laughs while you drown. But freedom requires sacrifice. It requires discipline. It requires you to face the truth about the choices you've made and the ones you'll make from now on. Start small. Pay off one debt. Cut one unnecessary expense. Build one habit that puts you closer to financial independence. With every step, the chains loosen. With every victory, you reclaim a piece of yourself. Ask yourself, who owns your life right now? If the answer isn't you, then it's time to take it back. Debt is their weapon, but discipline is your shield. Break the cycle. Break the system. Break free. You weren't born to be a slave to numbers on a screen. You were born to live, to create, to conquer. The system may have trapped you, but it can't hold you if you decide to rise. This is your moment. Take it. Lesson 4. The media machine. Look around. The screens are everywhere. In your hand, on your wall, in your mind. They bombard you with images, stories, and ideas every second of the day. They entertain you, inform you, comfort you. But what if I told you they're not here to serve you? What if I told you the media machine exists for one reason: to control you? The media doesn't care about the truth. It cares about control. Every headline, every viral clip, every trending story is a carefully crafted weapon, designed to keep you distracted, fearful, and obedient. It keeps you fixated on what they want you to see, while the real power moves happen behind the curtain. They shape your reality by deciding what's important and what isn't. And you don't even notice. Fear is their favorite tool. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. They feed it to you every day. The economy is collapsing. The world is on fire. You're not good enough unless you buy this. And you consume it. You let it seep into your mind, paralyzing you, keeping you right where they want you, scared, compliant, and dependent. But that's not the worst part. The real tragedy is what the media machine steals from you. Your time, your focus, your potential. Instead of building your dreams, you're scrolling. Instead of learning, you're watching. Instead of creating, you're consuming. And the whole time, the machine gets richer while you get weaker. You have to wake up. The media machine doesn't serve you. It owns you, but only if you let it. The power to break free is in your hands. It starts with a question. What are you consuming, and why? Are you feeding your mind, or are you being fed? Take back control of your attention. Unplug from the noise. Stop letting the headlines dictate your mood. Stop letting algorithms control your curiosity. Start asking questions. Who benefits from the stories they're telling? Who profits from your fear, your outrage, your distraction? Follow the money, and you'll see the strings pulling the puppet show. But it's not enough to reject the machine. You must replace it. Replace the endless scroll with books that challenge you. Replace passive consumption with active learning. Replace the noise with silence. In the quiet, you'll hear your own voice again, the one the machine tried to drown out. This won't be easy. The machine is addictive. It's designed to be. You'll feel the pull to go back, to check, to scroll, to consume. Resist it. Every time you say no to the media machine, you say yes to your freedom. Every time you choose focus over distraction, you step closer to the life you're meant to live. Ask yourself, who controls my attention? If the answer isn't you, it's time to take it back. Because your attention is your power. And if you don't take control of it, someone else will. The media machine is a monster, but it's a monster you can starve. Cut off its fuel, and it will wither. Take back your mind, and you'll break free from its grip. The world is full of noise, but the truth is out there, waiting for those brave enough to search for it. Be one of them. Break the machine, or let it break you. The choice is yours. Lesson 5. The 9-to-5 illusion. Wake up. Clock in. Clock out. Repeat. This is the cycle you've been told is normal. The safe path. The responsible life. But is it really? Or is it just another illusion? The 9-to-5 grind. The system's favorite trick to keep you chained, obedient, and silent. They sell you the dream. Stability, security, a paycheck every 2 weeks. They promise that if you work hard enough, long enough, you'll finally earn your freedom. But here's the truth. The 9-to-5 isn't a path to freedom. It's a treadmill to nowhere. No matter how fast you run, you'll never escape. Think about it. You trade your time, your most valuable asset, for money. And that money? It's barely enough to cover your bills, your debts, and the little luxuries they sell you to keep you docile. Meanwhile, the system reaps the profits of your labor. You work for them, they get richer, and you get comfortable. Comfortable enough to stay, but never enough to leave. But the real cost of the 9-to-5 isn't just your time. It's your dreams. It's the life you could have lived if you weren't so busy building someone else's empire. How many of your ideas have died at your desk? How much of your potential has been buried in deadlines, meetings, and meaningless tasks? The 9-to-5 is a cage, and the bars are made of fear. Fear of failure. Fear of instability. Fear of the unknown. They've conditioned you to believe there's no alternative. That breaking free is too risky. That this is just the way life works. But that's the lie. The truth? You don't have to live like this. The system only has power over you if you let it. And the first step to breaking free is recognizing the illusion for what it is. Your time is your power. Stop trading it away so cheaply. This doesn't mean quitting your job tomorrow with no plan. Breaking free requires strategy, discipline, and relentless action. Start building something for yourself. A side hustle, a skill, an investment in your future. Start creating streams of income that don't depend on your time. The goal isn't just to work less, it's to work for you. But make no mistake, this path isn't easy. It demands sacrifice. It demands you wake up earlier, work harder, and endure discomfort. But every moment of struggle is a step closer to freedom. And freedom is worth any price. So I ask you, are you living to work or working to live? If you're stuck in the grind, if your life feels like it's slipping away one paycheck at a time, then it's time to make a choice. Stay on the treadmill or step off and start walking your own path. The 9-to-5 is a trap, but it's not inescapable. The key is in your hands. Use it, or keep running in circles until there's no time left. The choice is yours. Lesson 6. Education or indoctrination? They told you education was the key to success, that if you followed the rules, studied hard, and got your degree, the world would open up for you. But did it? Or did they hand you a piece of paper and a lifetime of debt, sending you off to work in a system you were never taught to question? The truth is, education is supposed to empower you, but the system has twisted it into something else: indoctrination. They don't teach you how to think. They teach you what to think. Memorize this. Obey that. Follow the path laid out for you. And if you stray, you fail. From the moment you step into a classroom, the system starts shaping you, not into a thinker, a creator, or a leader, but into a cog, a worker, someone who fits neatly into the machine. They don't want you to challenge the system. They want you to sustain it. Look at what they teach you. Endless facts and figures, but nothing about managing your money. Years of history, but no lessons on how to shape your own future. They prepare you to take orders, but not to take control. Because a compliant worker is easier to manage than an independent mind. And the cycle doesn't stop with school. It extends to the workplace, to the media, to every institution designed to keep you obedient. You were taught to play it safe, to follow the rules, to never question the hand that feeds you. But what if the hand is holding you down? It's time to unlearn the lies, to stop relying on the system to educate you and start educating yourself. Real education doesn't come from textbooks or lectures. It comes from questioning everything. From seeking knowledge the system doesn't hand you. From learning the skills and truths that actually matter. About money, power, freedom, and how to take control of your life. But make no mistake, this path isn't easy. Unlearning years of conditioning feels like rebellion, and rebellion feels dangerous. But that's how you know you're on the right track. Growth is supposed to be uncomfortable. So I ask you, who taught you to live the life you're living now? Was it the system, your parents, society, and more importantly, was it the truth? The real education begins when you take ownership of your mind, when you stop passively consuming what the system feeds you, and start seeking the knowledge that will set you free. Read the books they don't assign. Ask the questions they don't want you to ask. Learn the skills they don't want you to have. Because the system thrives on ignorance. But an educated mind, a truly educated mind, is a weapon. And once you've armed yourself, the system can't control you anymore. Stop being a cog. Start being a creator. Education is power, but only if you take it into your own hands. The system may have taught you to follow, but now it's time to lead. It's time to break free. The choice is yours. Lesson 7. Fear as a weapon. Fear. It's the most ancient, primal force in the human mind. It kept our ancestors alive, sharpening their senses, making them run faster, fight harder. But in today's world, fear isn't a survival tool. It's a weapon the system uses against you every single day. Think about it. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. They've woven these fears into the very fabric of your life. They don't need chains to keep you in line. They use something far more effective: your own mind. The system thrives on your fear. Fear of stepping out of line, of taking risks, of standing apart. Fear keeps you in that job you hate because at least it's secure. Fear makes you bite your tongue when you should speak out. Fear whispers in your ear every time you think about breaking free. What if you fail? What if they laugh at you? What if you lose everything? But here's the truth they don't want you to know. Fear is an illusion. It feels real. It feels overwhelming. But it's nothing more than a shadow cast by the unknown. And shadows have no power unless you give it to them. What they don't teach you is that fear isn't meant to stop you. Fear is meant to guide you. It shows you where the edge of your comfort zone lies. And the edge is exactly where you need to be. Because growth, success, and freedom, all of it, live on the other side of fear. So ask yourself, what are you afraid of? And more importantly, why? Who taught you to fear failure? To fear risk? To fear being different? The system did. Because fear keeps you compliant. Fear keeps you small. Fear keeps you from realizing just how powerful you really are. The moment you confront your fear, it loses its grip. Fear only has power in the dark. Drag it into the light, and you'll see it for what it really is. A barrier between you and the life you're meant to live. But to break through that barrier, you must be willing to do what most people won't. Face it head on. You have to step into the unknown. Take risks. Embrace the possibility of failure. Because here's the secret. Failure isn't the end. It's the beginning. Every failure is a lesson. Every setback is a step forward. Fear wants you to believe failure is fatal, but it's not. What's fatal is never trying. The system is counting on your fear to keep you in line, to keep you chasing their version of success instead of building your own. But you don't have to play their game. You can take back control. You can turn fear into fuel, doubt into determination, and hesitation into action. So I ask you, what's scarier? Staying trapped in a life you don't want, or risking failure to build the life you do? One of those paths leads to regret. The other leads to freedom. The choice is yours. Fear is a weapon, but only if you let it be. The moment you decide to face it, to use it instead of letting it use you, you'll realize something profound. You were never afraid of failing. You were afraid of your own power. It's time to reclaim it. Break the weapon. Break the system. Break free. Because fear is not your enemy. It's your compass. Follow it, and you'll find freedom waiting on the other side. Lesson 8. Relationships and social conditioning. Look around you. The people in your life, the relationships you've built. How many of them are truly yours? And how many are reflections of what society told you they should be? From the moment you're born, the system molds not just you, but the people around you. It conditions how you interact, who you admire, and who you think you need to be in order to belong. Society loves to talk about connection, about community, about relationships. But what they don't tell you is that many of those connections are chains. Chains that keep you tethered to expectations, obligations, and roles you never chose for yourself. They tell you who to love, how to act, and what to prioritize. They make you believe your worth depends on external approval. The house, the job, the picture-perfect life. It's all a performance. And the applause comes at the cost of your authenticity. Think about the relationships in your life. Are they empowering you, or are they draining you? Are they helping you grow, or are they holding you back? How many of your connections are rooted in genuine respect and love? And how many are built on societal pressure and fear of being alone? The system doesn't want you to question this. They want you to follow the script. Get married, have kids, conform to the image of a good life. Because when you're busy keeping up appearances, you're too distracted to challenge the deeper truths. But here's the hard reality. Not everyone in your life is meant to stay. Some relationships are there to teach you, to challenge you, to help you grow. Others are there to test your boundaries, to show you what you need to let go of. And the only way to tell the difference is to start looking at your connections through the lens of truth, not comfort. True relationships are built on freedom, not control. They don't demand that you shrink yourself to fit someone else's expectations. They don't keep you trapped in cycles of guilt, obligation, or manipulation. True relationships inspire you to rise, to grow, to become more of who you really are. But choosing these kinds of connections requires courage. It means setting boundaries. It means walking away from people who drain your energy, even if it's painful. It means risking loneliness to make space for something real. So I ask you, who in your life is helping you build your future, and who is holding you back? Be honest with yourself. The truth may be painful, but it's necessary. Because until you let go of the relationships that no longer serve you, you'll never have the freedom to build the ones that do. This isn't about cutting everyone out or being alone. It's about choosing relationships that align with your values, your goals, your truth. It's about surrounding yourself with people who challenge you to grow, who support your journey, and who aren't afraid to see you rise. The system thrives on conformity. It wants you to prioritize fitting in over standing out. But you weren't made to blend in. You were made to break free. And sometimes, breaking free means letting go of the people who can't, or won't, follow you on your path. Ask yourself, are my relationships lifting me up or pulling me down? The answer will tell you everything you need to know. Choose wisely, because the connections you keep will either be the chains that hold you back or the wings that help you soar. Break the chains, build your tribe, and remember, freedom starts within you, but it grows through the relationships you choose. Choose power, choose truth, choose freedom. The choice is yours. Lesson 9. Rewriting the rules. Whose rules are you living by? Think about it. The rules that tell you when to work, how to act, what to want. They didn't come from you. They were written long before you were born, by people who had one goal: to keep the system running smoothly, to keep you in line. These rules were designed to serve them, not you. Work hard, they say. Follow the path. Keep your head down. Don't question authority. But let me ask you this. Where has following their rules gotten you? Are you fulfilled? Are you free? Or are you stuck in a life that feels too small for your potential? The harsh truth is that as long as you follow someone else's rules, you'll never live your own life. You'll spend your days chasing their definition of success, their version of happiness, and their vision of what your life should be. And in the process, you'll lose the most important thing you have, yourself. But it doesn't have to be this way. You don't have to play by their rules. In fact, the most powerful thing you can do is tear up their script and write your own. Because freedom isn't given, it's created. And it starts when you decide to stop living for them and start living for you. This isn't easy. Rewriting the rules means stepping into the unknown. It means questioning everything you've been taught and unlearning the lies that have kept you in chains. It means facing resistance from others, from the system, even from yourself. Because deep down, the old rules feel safe. They feel familiar. But familiar doesn't mean right. So how do you rewrite the rules? It starts with one simple question. What do I want? Not what they told you to want. Not what society expects. What do you want? Success, freedom, happiness. What do these words mean to you? Define them for yourself. Because until you know what you're aiming for, you'll always be a pawn in someone else's game. Once you know what you want, the next step is simple but brutal. Take action. Small steps, big steps. It doesn't matter. What matters is that every move you make is aligned with your vision, not theirs. This is your life, your path, your rules. But rewriting the rules isn't just about defying the system. It's about creating something better. It's about building a life that reflects your values, your purpose, your truth. It's about saying no to what doesn't serve you and yes to what sets your soul on fire. And here's the thing. When you start living by your own rules, you'll scare people. You'll face criticism, judgment, even rejection. Because the system hates those who refuse to conform. But that's a price worth paying. Because while they stay trapped in their cages, you'll be free. So I ask you, whose rules are you living by? If the answer isn't yours, it's time to change that. Start small. Question one belief, one expectation, one rule that no longer serves you. Then break it. Rewrite it. Replace it with something that aligns with who you truly are. This is your life. Don't waste it following someone else's playbook. The system gave you rules to control you, but you have the power to rewrite them, to break free, to create a life that's yours and yours alone. It won't be easy, but the best things never are. The path to freedom is forged in resistance, in rebellion, in relentless action, and it's worth every step. So stop living by their rules. Start living by your own. The pen is in your hand. The page is blank. What will you write? Lesson 10. The power of action. Knowledge, vision, intention. They're all essential. But alone, they mean nothing. Nothing changes without action. Nothing transforms without movement. And yet, this is where most people fail. They get stuck in the endless loop of planning, dreaming, and waiting for the perfect moment. But the perfect moment doesn't exist. The only moment you have is now. The system counts on your inaction. It thrives on hesitation. It feeds off your excuses. I'll start tomorrow. I need more time. What if I fail? Every delay, every doubt, every second you spend thinking instead of doing keeps you right where they want you, stuck. You see, action is dangerous to the system. It's the spark that starts the fire, the force that shatters the illusion. When you act, you disrupt the status quo. You step out of line. You take control. And that terrifies them. Because the system doesn't fear your knowledge. It fears your execution. But action is hard. It's uncomfortable. It's uncertain. That's why so few people do it. They let fear paralyze them. They let doubt whisper lies in their ear. What if you're not good enough? What if you fail? But here's the truth they don't want you to know. Failure is not the enemy. Inaction is. Every failure teaches you. Every mistake moves you forward. But doing nothing, that keeps you stagnant. That keeps you enslaved. Think about it. How many dreams have you abandoned because you were too afraid to take the first step? How many opportunities have passed you by because you were waiting for a sign? The only sign you need is this. If you want it, go get it. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you freedom. It's up to you. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent, intelligence, or luck. It's action. The willingness to do what others won't. To step into the unknown. To risk failure, ridicule, and rejection in pursuit of something greater. So I ask you, what have you been putting off? What dream, what goal, what vision have you been letting die in the name of fear or laziness? Because if you don't act now, you may never act. And one day, you'll look back on a life filled with regret, wondering what could have been if you had just taken that first step. But it's not too late. The power to act is yours, and the time to act is now, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Now, because every moment you hesitate, the system tightens its grip. Every second you wait, you're giving away a piece of your freedom. Start small. Take one step. Make one decision. Do one thing today that moves you closer to your goals. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. Action builds momentum, and momentum is unstoppable. This is your wake-up call. Stop waiting. Stop overthinking. Stop making excuses. The system wants you to hesitate. Don't give it what it wants. Instead, take what's yours. Your dreams, your goals, your freedom. Because the truth is this: no one is going to break the chains for you. You have to do it yourself. And the only way to do it is through action. Bold, relentless, unapologetic action. So I ask you one final time: what will you do today to claim your freedom? Not tomorrow, not someday. Today. The clock is ticking. The choice is yours. Stay stagnant, or take the step that changes everything. The power is in your hands. Use it. You've made it to the end, but remember, this isn't the finish line. This is just the beginning. The GrimFace movement isn't about one video or one moment. It's about a lifetime of resilience, power, and purpose. Every decision you make from here on out is either a step toward freedom or a step back into the shadows. To our loyal warriors, keep pushing, keep fighting, and keep showing the world that we are unstoppable. Your comments, your shares, your support, they're not just actions. They're fuel for this fire. And if you're new here, ask yourself this: are you ready to break free from the lies, the limits, and the expectations they forced on you? If the answer is yes, hit that subscribe button and become part of something bigger, something darker, something stronger. This is GrimFace, and we don't stop until the chains are broken, the limits are shattered, and the world knows who we are. Until next time, stay relentless, stay ruthless, and never forget: the power is yours if you're bold enough to take it. See you in the next battle.